Hey guys, how's it going? So, for all of my fellow Michigan Patriots, true Second Amendment supporters, I've got some really exciting news, guys. But before I talk about it, get your phones out, get ready, because we're all going to need to chip in. You're all going to need to spread this message as hard as you can. Your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, your YouTube. We're going to have to get together on this because this is pretty cool. And we're kind of at a pivotal point in Michigan, and we're going to need to make something happen. So, I put out a video a few weeks ago talking about all of the impending gun control that's coming to Lansing and how our governor's anti-gun, our attorney general's anti-gun, and many of our elected representatives and senators are also. Now look, with what's been going on in Virginia lately, a lot of other states are kind of seeming like they want to fall in line, right? And we just can't let that happen in Michigan. Now, if you look at Virginia as a way to fight back and stand their ground, Virginia's been developing these sanctuary counties, and I'm sure you guys know all about it. And I know there's been a big Facebook group and a lot of people in Michigan talking about, hey, let's bring sanctuary counties here to Michigan. And that's exactly what I'm here to talk about, guys. So I was sitting there reading comments to my videos, and a couple of you said, hey, look, there's kind of a movement to get this going in Michigan. I started doing some research, and I found out that here in Monroe County, Michigan, okay, one of our county commissioners, his name is Greg Moore Jr., is actually putting up a resolution for a vote here very soon for Monroe County to potentially be Michigan's first Second Amendment sanctuary county. And this is kind of a big deal, guys. Like anything, the very first one is always the most important. And the sanctuary county movement hasn't really taken off in Michigan yet. But you know what? All of us here, all of us combined together, sharing, letting everybody know the word, we're going to make it happen right now. So here's the deal. Coming up here next Tuesday, the 21st of January, January 21st at 6 p.m., the Monroe County Courthouse. This is in Monroe County, Michigan, down in the southeast corner. On the agenda of that meeting is going to be Mr. Greg Moore, County Commissioner, putting forth a resolution for Monroe County to become a Second Amendment sanctuary county, guys. Now, this is huge. And for all the rest of you Michigan guys that don't live in Monroe County, don't go anywhere. This totally applies to you. And we need all of you guys to get in this fight, too. Because you guys are going to see in a few minutes, I sat down. I wouldn't really call it an interview, but I sat down and talked to Greg, and we just basically had a conversation like two like-minded pro-Second Amendment patriots would, and it was a pretty cool talk. I think you guys are going to enjoy the rest of this video. But look, there's a lot of other counties in Michigan where the commissioners have already reached out to him and said, look, we see that you're putting forth, okay, this resolution for a vote here soon in Monroe, and we're going to watch and see what happens in Monroe. So many counties throughout the whole state of Michigan are looking to see what happens here in Monroe, Michigan, just about a week from now, on the 21st of January. So I'm going to leave the link down in the description, just so you guys know, for the courthouse address. You know, you guys can look up the address in your Google Maps or any of that. I'm also going to leave a link to all the county commissioners in Monroe County. And I suggest that you guys call these county commissioners and let them know that you would support them passing this resolution. Because from what I understand, there's some people that are really fighting for it in Monroe County, and there's a couple people that are going to be against it, and there's a few people that just aren't quite sure. This is where we come into play. This is where you guys come into play. And look, this is a friendly challenge. You guys have all been asking me in the videos, what do we do? What do we do next? How do we stop this? This is our chance, guys. This is your chance right now. Here's what you guys can do. First, share the crap out of this video. It's nothing to do with me. I could care less about me. This message just needs to get out there. And I went out, I got in my car today, I drove, I took the time out of my busy schedule to meet with this county commissioner. He's a great guy, by the way. You guys are going to love this guy's attitude. Look, it sucks. Most politicians are against us. It seems like sometimes they're all against us. But when you get down to the local level, there's some true patriots. And we need to get behind people that actually have the guts to go out there and try to get something done. And it's become a little bit controversial for Mr. Moore. Some people aren't really liking what he's doing. Here's the deal. We're going to go to this meeting, guys. I'm going to be there. I need not one or two of you guys, because if only one or two of us show up, they're going to say, look, one or two people showed up, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about gun rights in Michigan, and they're going to take them from us. Look, our rights were given to us by God, but they can be taken away by a government if we don't stand vigilant and we don't stand up for our own rights and for ourselves and for our safety. You guys know exactly what I mean. Our Second Amendment rights here in Michigan are ours to keep or ours to lose, okay? So we need to fill up this meeting. I want this meeting completely full. People standing out in the hallway. Look, Virginia did it. Michigan can do it too. I had no idea how many patriots were out there in Michigan until I put out a couple gun rights videos that were shared like crazy by you guys. So that's what you guys need to do. I got in my car. I went out, put in some effort today to try to get the word out. You guys need to come out too, you know. Leave all the comments you want. Share this like crazy. But I need you guys at this meeting. I need you to tell your friends about it. If you don't live in Monroe County, you're more than welcome to come. It's completely open to the public, okay? Let's fill this room up. Let's let them know. Look, for these people that are undecided, that aren't quite sure whether there's any patriots or any true pro-Second Amendment people in Michigan, it's up to us to let them know, because I know you guys are out there. So let's get them phones going, get on them computers, start clacking them keys, share the crap out of this. We need 100 people there, 200 people there, 500 people there. If there's 1,000 people there, there's no such thing as having too many people at this meeting. And like I said, even if you don't live in Monroe County, the other county commissioners throughout the state are looking at Monroe County because this has the chance to be the very first one. There's also the chance for community members to speak on the microphone to the county commissioners. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be speaking. Any of you guys can too. You don't have to have a YouTube channel to speak there. You know what I mean? Just get up there. If you have something to say to them, let them know how you feel about the Second Amendment rights and how you feel about this 2A sanctuary resolution. We can make a difference, guys. So, as much as we like to complain about anti-gun stuff, this is a positive chance for us actually to make a difference. And let's have it all start off right now in the southeastern corner of Michigan in Monroe County. So, let me know what you guys are thinking. Let's get involved. Let's do something, guys. I'm really, really excited if you can't tell. This is our chance to actually put it out there, get a resolution on paper. And I think there's going to be a lot more counties that'll come. And like I allude to later on in this video, any of your county commissioners in your county, wherever you're at in Michigan, have them reach out. Have them send an email to Greg Moore Jr., Monroe County. The link to his information is going to be down there in the description. He said he's more than willing, to send out information to help get any of your counties started too. So this is especially for people in Monroe County, but it's really especially for the whole state of Michigan, because we're already becoming aware of the fact that a lot of the county commissioners are looking at what's going to happen in Monroe here in about a week. So I'm pretty excited about this, guys. We can't let ourselves down. We can't let our children down. These are our gun rights, and we have to make a stand and let Lansing know that, you know what? You don't represent all of us. And if you guys want to make laws that are contrary to the Second Amendment, contrary to our natural liberties, we will not comply. I'm going to be there. I hope to see a ton of you guys there. If you guys want to do little videos with me for your channels, any of the small gun channels out there, I'd love to hang out with you guys. I'll be there. Walk up to me. I'd like to meet and shake some of you guys' hands. So expect to see a bunch of you guys there. Share the crap out of it. And I think you guys are going to like Greg Moore. He's a pretty cool dude. So yeah, I'm just driving down Highway 23 in Michigan, going all the way down to the southeast corner of the state. Alright, just got off the freeway. I'm heading to Temperance, Michigan. So this is what I'm doing, guys. Just beating the streets, getting on the road here. Trying to bring it, trying to spread the word to protect our gun rights and our liberties in general. Hey guys, how's it going? So as I've been talking about, with our Second Amendment rights and specifically our gun rights in Michigan, we have to get involved on the local level. So that's exactly what I'm doing today. So I'd like to introduce all you guys to Greg Moore Jr.
Hey guys, how you doing?
He's the Monroe County Commissioner representing the 8th District here in Monroe County. And we're going to let you guys know about some exciting news here, something that Greg has planned that's going to be introduced here at a meeting in Monroe County on the 21st. So what's your resolution, Greg?
Sure. So thanks for having me, first of all. Love your channel on YouTube. I'm unabashedly pro Second Amendment, concealed carry for 15 years, hunting, right to defend themselves, the whole thing. So everything you talk about online, I really like, and I appreciate you doing that because more people need to know about that.
Awesome.
So I've kind of been watching what's been going on, not only in Virginia, but even nationally, Colorado, California. There's been a real specific attack on the Second Amendment right, which is obviously the right to bear arms, which shall not be infringed, right?
Yeah.
And I was looking at that over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I had some talks with some other commissioners, and I said, what do you think about doing a resolution which just is public support of the Second Amendment, both at the federal U.S. Constitution, and then also the Michigan State the State of Michigan Constitution, which the Michigan Constitution is even broader than the U.S. Constitution, and that was ratified in, I think, 1962. So just a mere 50 years ago, we had this belief and this thought that every citizen should have the right to bear arms, the right to self-defense. And we talked about it for a day or two, said, yep, let's do something in the future on that. Well, a few days later, I made a post on my Facebook page, both my commissioner page and my personal page, and just said, hey, I have the intent to introduce something on the 21st that'll be a resolution that just simply states the support for the Second Amendment by all the county commissioners and local elected officials. Well, that thing went crazy. Million views. I had national news media calling me, local news media, and I didn't think it was going to be that divisive. I mean, look, I'm a local elected official. I put my hand on the Bible and swore an oath to uphold the Constitution, both the United States Constitution and the Michigan Constitution. So a resolution that merely states, hey, I support part of that document didn't seem like that big of a deal to me. So I was a little surprised by how much attention it got. If we did do something like this, we'd be the first county in Michigan to do it, which I'm surprised by that as well.
I am too.
The fact that we would have to do that we have to publicly say we support one of the Bill of Rights as an elected official blows my mind. But that's kind of where we got to. So people in Lansing picked it up, locally, nationally picked it up, and then you reached out to me, and that's where we are today. I plan on introducing it on the 21st at our regular board meeting for the county commissioners in Monroe County.
Okay, so this is what's going on, guys. Basically, is this kind of like is this along the same terms of the sanctuary county movements that are like going on in Virginia?
Right.
Essentially?
Yeah, so what happened was there is a Facebook group that has about 70,000 people in it, and they started it on the 24th of December, and it's now, 2.5 weeks later, has 70,000 members, to where they were looking at, they saw my Facebook post and then said, yeah, we want to do the same thing, but we want to take it to all 83 counties in Michigan. And I've been in communication with them. They're kind of working up their resolution, possibly taking from some of the wording on mine, which mine should be finished here the next day or two. And they're looking at actually doing this across 83 counties, almost like Virginia did. I mean, you had 85 out of the 90 counties, I think, down
90,
there.
I think, at this point.
Is it 90? Okay, that passed those. And here's the thing. Sometimes resolutions, when stating certain things, when they're directive at the county level, they are legal and binding. These resolutions that are in support, in my view, are more, hey, you guys in Lansing and you guys in Washington, D.C., we want to let you know what we support here at the local level. Yes. I always tell people, local government, it's so great to get involved at local government because that's where the rudder moves the quickest. Yep. Stuff in D.C. gets held up for years and decades at a time, but at the local level, you can create and do things that actually you can see the results in your community instantly, and it's the grassroots. We're closest to the people at the local level. So in the resolution, too, I'm also directing our staff to send this to every local elected official, our county officials, our state officials, and our U.S. congressmen and women, just so they know, hey, we have a board here in Monroe County that supports the Second Amendment.
So basically, elected officials such as Joe Bellino and Dale Zorn, they're going to become aware of this. Right?
Sure, yeah. I'm sure they are already, but yeah.
And this is another point, guys. Look, I just always tell you guys how it is on this channel. This is why local government matters and why it does matter to go to your local meetings. Because I'm sitting here with this gentleman. He's an elected official, but look, he's just a fellow patriot, right?
Correct.
I'm here with him right now in his private office, and he's sitting here. Not giving me the time, he's giving you guys the time. He's talking to all of us. I've reached out to my national politicians, never received an email back. I've also reached out to my local state elected officials. I anticipate they're just busy, but they haven't reached back to me either, quite frankly. Look, This guy's right here. He's just a regular person. You guys know I'm a regular person. And it's kind of cool, isn't it? As much as we rip on all of our government officials, like the government people are bad, right?
Right.
And I feel like on a national level, it's getting to the point where not many people care. But you and I are just sitting here, just regular dudes. And,
yeah,
you know, let me ask you a quick question about how you look at the Second Amendment. Because so many people say that they're pro-gun, right?
Sure.
I'm pro-gun, I hunt, and this and that, but you don't need this and that. Now, here's what I've always said on my channel. I believe that our gun rights and all of our human rights are given to us by God, and that we were created with them,
Sure.
and that the government didn't grant them. In fact, the Second Amendment just said that it prohibited the government from infringing or taking away. Now, nowadays, that's considered kind of a hardline view, but
Sure.
that's how I believe the Second Amendment. It's just a prohibition. The government didn't give us anything.
Yeah.
What's your view on that?
Well, everything you said was pretty much spot on. I mean, here's the issue that we're having. We have generations now of younger people and even older generations that don't rightly view what rights even are.
Yeah.
We throw around this term right? I have a right to drive, a right to life, a right to liberty, a right to guns. Well, there's a difference between a legal right and a natural right or an inalienable right.
Yes.
Right? So the U.S. Constitution is very unique in it's saying, hey, these are rights that don't care if you're Republican. It doesn't. An inalienable right doesn't care if you have an R in front of your name, a D in front of your name, an I in front of your name. Doesn't care where you come from. Doesn't care what sex you are, what gender, how much you make, what social economic background you're from. From conception, you have those rights.
Yes.
I have a right to self-defense. I have a right to bear arms. I have a right to free speech. I have a right to privacy. All these rights. So those amendments, those first 10 amendments, are what's called negative rights, which says the government says, hey, you have to protect these. You don't give them to us. You don't grant them to us. These are inherent as a human being, and you have to protect those. Those citizens have those rights. So I feel like we've gotten off into the fact that we look at the government can give us a Second Amendment right. It can't. It's ours.
Yep.
The second point I'd like to make is people who say, the Second Amendment is for hunting, I kind of laugh at them. Here's what the Second Amendment was ultimately for. It's for tyranny. It's for either personal tyranny against yourself for self-defense or governmental tyranny. It was for the right for us to bear arms so if the government ever became too tyrannical, we could rise up. And you see Supreme Court after Supreme Court ruling that upholds that.
Yes.
If you look at Heller versus D.C., that essentially says anything, a weapon that the National Guard has should be the same level weapon that an individual can own.
Yes.
And a lot of
Yes.
people who argue against this don't really like to look at that ruling, but that's the reason it was put in place, was for government and personal tyranny. So I look at it across the board. Yes, I'm a hunter. Yes, I use it for all those things. I use it. I carry my weapon with me every day. I've had to use it in my line of work for self-defense, things like that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's for a tyrannical government if it ever rises up. And I think that's why there's such a specific attack on those rights. Because, and I know you've probably heard this saying, once the Second Amendment falls, all the other rights fall behind it.
I've often said the Second Amendment's there to protect all the rest of them.
Yeah.
And then look at guys, this is what's so cool about hanging out with Greg here. He's not just like, you guys say politician, right? Well, yeah, that means many things. His definition of how he looks at the Second Amendment and Article 1, Section 6 of the Michigan Constitution, that's pretty much right in line. And that's why I'm talking to him and I have him on here, because it's pretty cool that we actually have somebody who's been elected to office. And I'm honored to be sitting with you, quite frankly, because...
Oh, it's an honor's all mine, man. Here's the thing. Grassroots and it's we the people, okay?
Yes, sir.
And here was my thought. When I had no intention of running for an elected office, but I had an issue. I went to my elected officials that were over that issue, and I just wasn't satisfied with the answer I got, whether they didn't feel like they needed to do it,
Yes.
or they didn't want to.
Yep.
And I went, well, I'll just run myself then, because it is we the people, right?
Yep.
And you have to realize that politicians like to think of themselves as elected officials, and they call themselves that.
Yep.
Elected official sounds fancy, doesn't it?
Yes,
But in
it
fact,
does.
what they really are is public servants.
Public service.
They serve us.
I say that all
I
the
serve
time.
you.
I say
If I
that all
take
the time.
any type of taxpayer-funded money, or I do anything with taxpayer-funded money, I serve at your pleasure.
Yeah.
And that's the way I really look at it. So when someone comes to me with an issue or comes to me with a policy,
Yeah.
I'm working for them.
Yeah.
And all too often we find politicians that once they get elected in those higher levels, all of a sudden their jokes become funnier and people start patting them on the back and, oh, you look so nice today and you want to go out to dinner. Look, I don't need any of that. I'm doing just fine. I've got one friend. I don't need any more. I've got a wife and kids that I love. I can go out and eat steak anytime I want with my money that I earn. I'm not beholden to anyone. And elected officials should only be beholden to the people.
Yes.
That's why, you know, I think this becomes a divisive issue because they sense it as political. Oh, what is this person going to say or that person? Well, you want to know what? If you rightly go to your constituents and say, this is what I support and this is why I support it. I knocked on 8,000 doors. I talked to 8,000 people when I ran for county commissioner. And I told them, and they would say, are you Republican or Democrat? I'd say, let me talk to you for a few minutes and then I'll tell you. And we'd go through some issues and talk. And by the end, they went, well, I really don't care which one you are. I'm voting for you because I believe the way you do. So I think part of the mission of an elected official or a public servant is to rightly explain why they stand for those things. Not just, oh, I'm pro-gun. You know, that's very broad. Well, why? Well, because I believe in some very deep philosophical reasons for the Second Amendment.
As do I.
Why this country is so great and how it was founded. You know? And I think a lot of people, once you explain that to them, they go, yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm for that. So a politician who pushes stuff off or doesn't want to take votes on stuff just because it's political, to me, that's institutional laziness. And that might sound harsh, but do your work. Go out there and explain it to the people why you support something and why you back something. Have a little intestinal fortitude. Yeah, you might take flack for people who disagree with you, but it doesn't really matter. I was sworn in to uphold the Constitution, no matter what. And that means even if there's a few people that don't like me or call me names, I got thick skin. I don't care. I think our country's worth it. Don't you?
Oh, for sure. And the great state of Michigan. And then here's the thing, guys. A lot of these people, they talk and they have the best words. But you actually need to look at what they're doing. He knocked on 8,000 doors. He could have told them whatever he wanted. But none of that matters until he actually gets into office and makes that vote to help serve us as a servant and protect our rights. So here's the deal. And here's what I'm really excited about, guys. Here on the 21st of January, 2020, he's bringing this resolution to the Monroe County Board of Commissioners. He's going to put his money where his mouth is. Look, we elected him in office. You guys elected him into office, as well as the rest of your commissioners. But he's actually going to make a motion to put this on the floor, if you will, for discussion and for vote. Now, there might be some other people that were elected, I don't know for sure, that might say, well, we're not quite sure. Some might be against it. But he's for it. He's for the people of southeastern Michigan in Monroe County, and he's here to protect all of our rights. So here's what I need you guys to do. You guys have your social media. You need to get on your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram. Why don't you guys go knock on a few doors? Look, he didn't just sit back on the internet and type keyboard commando stuff when he went out there to serve us here in the Monroe County, as a commissioner. No, he went out and worked. I didn't just sit there and email him. I came here to talk to him. So look, guys, just a little positive peer pressure, friendly challenge to you. I need to see all you guys at this meeting on the 21st. You're going to have time to speak, right?
Correct.
So you'll be able to get up to the microphone. You'll be able to talk in support of your public servants that are going to support and protect your Second Amendment rights here in Michigan. And if somebody's kind of wavering on it, you get 5 minutes to try to coax them and tell them, hey, look, we elected you here. You're not really serving my best interests. So you can get up there with positive remarks. You can get up there with negative remarks. That's your right. And I do believe as long as we still have the Second Amendment, we're going to keep the First Amendment. So I really, really need you guys to get in there. And also just remember, he's running for office again this year. Don't just take my word for it. I think you should because I think he's a really good guy. But go there on the 21st. Look at the motion that he's going to put up, okay? He's going to put it right up in front of everybody, whether it's controversial or not. And then you'll see for yourself that Greg Moore Jr. is pro-Second Amendment and pro-civil rights, and we need to keep people like him in office. We need people like you because...
Well, I appreciate those kind words. Let me just say, I don't know if you tell your followers here where you live, but your district that you told me where you're from, that Commissioner Dawn Asper is just unabashedly on support of the Second Amendment. She's one of the commissioners on the board that is doing a phenomenal job with making sure people have liberty and freedom. So I just wanted to give her a shout out too, because she's going to take a stand just like any other commissioner. I'm sure we're going to get some pushback on this. There's always some people that have the opposite view that are very pro-gun control and think that here's the sad thing. People who believe in gun control are not they're pro-gun. They're just pro a limited amount of people gun.
Yes.
If you talk to any person that says I'm in favor of gun control, well, you're pro-gun. You just want certain people to have guns. And I believe that the Constitution says everyone who is a legal U.S. citizen from birth has certain rights, and they should be afforded those rights. So, and that's part of the motivation of this resolution. So I just wanted to add that into. And once again, thanks for coming out and sitting down and talking with me. Because I mean, like I said, I love your videos. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
You know, just even the stuff we were talking about beforehand with the censorship and things like that are going on social media, where certain things are taboo now, where they're shadow banning and they're doing certain things. I appreciate you fighting the good fight, doing your little part of the what you do. I do my little part of what I do, and together I think we can make sure people still have those rights for generations to come, because they're being attacked, man. Yeah,
exactly. And that's the thing, guys. We all need to do our part. None of us are any more or less important than the other. That's the thing here. He has a vote on the county level. He gets to put his vote out. He gets to write resolutions, okay? I sit here in front of a camera and talk to you guys. But you guys have all your social media. You guys have neighbors' doors to knock on. So it's kind of cool that, you know what, I'm just going to end with this. I was kind of getting a little frustrated not too long ago, because it just seems like everywhere. You look at Virginia, now it looks like it wants to spread to Michigan, Kentucky. I'm like, man, are there any Patriots left? And then I put out a Michigan video, and there's like 70,000 Patriots in there. And you put out your resolution, and it went viral, and now 1 million people.
Yeah.
So I don't want you guys sitting at home thinking that you're alone. You know, there's the two of us hanging out. We're hanging out with all you guys, and you know, get the right people in office, like Greg Moore. I'm going to support him. I want you guys to support him who live in his district here. The same thing with Dawn, my county commissioner. I'm going to reach out to her maybe via email or something just to see what she has to say. But you know what? It doesn't matter what they say. They're all going to vote. And I want you guys to be there. You know, if 2 or 3 people show up from all of Monroe County, they're going to say, oh, okay, the people don't really want this. Look, guys, we have the chance. I want you guys to know what's actually going on here. We here in little old Monroe County, southeastern Michigan, have the chance to essentially become the first sanctuary county in the state of Michigan. And I think it's kind of huge, because it just puts it out there for everybody to see. Monroe County, we don't stand with Gretchen and these people in Lansing. They just don't represent us. They live in a different world than Monroe County, Michigan.
Yeah.
And I think we have a chance to set precedents. And if this resolution passes, just think of all the other counties. And this is where I'm going to reach out to all you guys in Michigan. Greg Moore here, he's already said that he's reached out to other people in the state of Michigan. If your county commissioner wants to send him an email, you'll forward on information to help all counties become sanctuary Michigan, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not about his job. He's just here to serve us. He has a full-time job. They don't make a living being a county commissioner, right?
No.
He's just doing this because he wants to serve. And he said nobody else is really up to snuff. No one else is really out there fighting for our rights. So why don't I do it myself? And that's the kind of people I want to see in office. And I want you guys to get out there and really support this resolution. Big time. If we don't do it, we're just going to sit there and we're going to become complacent with all the gun control people. So just keep that in mind. Schedule your time off, get in the car, drive, just do a little bit of work. And it's going to pay off for ourselves and for our kids and everybody else, you know.
Now, before we go, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And I ask every gun guy this that I meet, or gun woman, what's your favorite gun that you own and why? And then I'll tell you mine.
Well,
do you have a favorite?
I have so many guns, it's hard to have a favorite. But my favorite's going to be my Chinese SKS. Mm-hmm. I got it from literally mowing lawns $5 at a time back in 1994. It was only $100, and there's just something about the first you never forget, and I still have it. So that's my favorite.
I'm kind of in the same boat. My favorite to shoot right now is my River Rock 300 Blackout.
Yeah.
Target shooting and using it for hunting is absolutely phenomenal. But probably my favorite gun is that Winchester 12-gauge pump that Grandma got me when I was 10. So
nice.
It's my first one, just like you.
Yeah.
And once you get your first one, it's kind of hard to not say that one's your favorite. So
yeah,
that's always a fun. It's always a fun question to ask. Gun enthusiasts what their favorite is. So.
We're definitely gun enthusiasts. We didn't talk about guns today because if we lose our rights, who cares about the physical gun itself, right? But
true.
Maybe we'll hook up with Greg another time and just talk about guns or something, because I'd like to become better friends with him. He's a cool dude. So I'd like to talk to you later.
I appreciate it. You too.
All right. No problem, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. Just remember, guys, this is our state too. Michigan doesn't just belong to the leftists. It doesn't just belong to the anti-gunners, the freedom grabbers. No, this is our state, and it's time for us to let people know. We need to stand up. Let them know, hey, we've lived here our whole lives. I've lived here my whole life. I've been in the state of Michigan for 40 years, and no one's just going to walk into Lansing and take my state and my rights away from me.